Hello, world. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope the quality of this video is really good because I have a very important message that I need to get to the authorities. Whatever authorities are listening, please. What I'm about to tell you is very, very important. And this is triggering. So beware, anybody that's watching this. This is very triggering. It's very difficult for me as well. But when you have gifts, this is what they're for, is to help. Okay, here we go. There is a child that is in need of help. She is being forcibly attacked and violated repeatedly by her father. So much so that this child is sick. She will be unalived if something isn't done soon. The father is the one that is responsible for what is happening to her. The father also lets his friends forcibly attack her and violate her repeatedly. He needs to be stopped. They live in Georgia, in a town called Titting, Titting, which is real close to Savannah, Georgia. The address is 1021 Thompson Road in Titting, Georgia. This little girl's name is Teresa, and she's 5 years old. It is very important that this child does not die. She's a starseed with great powers to change the world. You hear my neighbors? Please find her and help her. Please don't waste any time. This child needs the world to pray for her. So please pray for this child. She needs all of our prayers. Sorry about the neighbors, but there isn't much I can do about that, and this happens all the time. All the time. Okay, so now to get back to situations in my life. We're going to start with Sandy Davis. She has actually been trafficking kids since she was young. She adopted kids and then trafficked them. She would let men forcibly attack these children, and they were forced to do acts with these men. She sacrificed them for the money. And she would put them, and then she would put the blame on them by telling them, well, if you weren't there in the first place, it was your own fault because you were there. So she blamed the kids, gaslit and abused these children by making them believe that it was their fault that they were forcibly attacked. She also sold infants. And her being a nurse and working with children, she was able to know what families to take these kids from. And she would call CPS on the families to have them removed from their homes. The CPS worker was also involved in this, and the CPS worker would take these kids to Sandy, and she would sell them. The families would try to get their kids back, but would be told by the courts, when the families would question why, well, okay, back up. The families would try to get their kids back, and they would no by the courts. And when the families would ask why, they were told that these kids were doing well, and to take them now would only cause more damage. Tommy Dean knew Sandy Davis and her whole family from way back when. Tommy Ardwin was actually sent to me on purpose to get me pregnant. But he was too busy screwing around with other women to get it done. I was told he would have had he not been so busy dropping his seed everywhere else. His sister Kathy, who is also my best friend, kept telling Tommy to marry me so that they could take what was mine. But he didn't want to at the time, which I'm being told that Tommy Ardwin committed suicide. But not before he wrote everything down that he knew. So Tommy Dean was sent to finish the job that Tommy Ardwin couldn't. Every one of them was involved. Tommy Ardwin was the beginning of the trafficking idea that they all had for me. I'm being guided to tell you of a couple of times that this tried to happen. There was a time in a grocery store parking lot that a couple of men followed me to my car. One of them got out of the car and started coming toward me. But I'd seen them coming toward me. First of all, the car was following me and it didn't feel right. So I put my keys between my fingers and I was ready. But when this guy came up behind me, I turned around and I had my keys in my hand and he got back in that car and they drove off. I was very vigilant of my surroundings, which made it very difficult for them to do anything to me for trafficking because I was always on guard. There was another time that I had to take Tommy's Camaro to Tucson to pick up my girls. The car was supposed to break down on my way to Tucson. Then there were people who were supposed to stop and help me that were supposed to take me, and I would never be seen or heard from again. However, the car didn't break down until I got to where I was supposed to be to pick up my girls. That's when the car broke down. Everybody was shocked when I showed up to get my girls. They had already told my daughters that I wouldn't be coming to pick them up. And I waited for hours and hours and hours for them to bring the girls to me and for them to bring me the part that I needed to fix my car or Tommy's car. By the time they got there, I had already had the car taken apart to put the water pump that they brought me back on. And I put the car back together and I got my girls and we went back to Phoenix. One of the recent videos that I mentioned about Tommy Dean and Kathy Jo being arrested, I was wrong. Tommy Dean was not arrested. He apparently escaped through a window. He has recently tried to leave the country, but he is on a watch list, which is exactly what he had me on. He had me on a watch list. He tried to make changes to his appearance, but he was caught. When they got him, he apparently started crying, and the authorities said, for such a badass going after her, you sure are acting like a little bitch. That may not be exactly verbatim word for word, but it's very close. Tommy Dean is the reason that I've been going through everything that I've been going through in the past 2+ years. When Tommy was arrested, they took away his tools that he uses for the black magic. There was a voodoo doll of me, my hair, and a pair of my underwear that he took. And he can't do the spells anymore, which is really good because he has been or had been hanging out in my energy. And whenever I was trying to talk to Father, he said to me, "You up your game, bitch." All right, so Sharon Tackett. So apparently you've been going around telling people that we're still friends, telling people how badly Sandy treated me and how badly my family treated me. First of all, we're not friends. You were paid by my family to give them information about what was happening in my life so that you could take it back to them so that they could find a way to sabotage me and what I was doing in my life. Second of all, this is not your story to tell. I'm absolutely quite capable of telling my story, and I have been doing so on this platform. So keep my name out of your mouth. The black book with gold lettering was found in a car that was impounded. My cousin Eddie Matthews got pulled over for drinking and driving. My cousin Eddie was told to go get the book and to hide it. He was in a vehicle that didn't belong to him, and when he went to try to go get the car out, they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him have it because it wasn't his. He told them that he had stuff in the car and they needed to go get it, things that belonged to him, but they wouldn't let him back to the car. So he started a fight with the lady at the impound lot, and she called the police. When the police arrived, he began swearing at them, and he took off toward the car. They tased him at first. He tried to move, but he couldn't. And when he finally came to, he tried to grab the gun of one of the officers. He may have even gotten the gun, but he was shot in the head by another officer. Eddie was told by Tommy to not get ugly about it, that they would get the book back when they had a chance. But Eddie didn't listen. So the ambulance was called and they took him to St. Mary's Hospital in Denver, Colorado, which, by the way, authorities, is where I was born. Things got worse when they pronounced him brain dead. The police actually wondered what was so important and what could there be in the car, that they went to look. And that's when they found the book. And they couldn't believe what they were seeing. They actually took it to the FBI. They got it to the FBI, and it was booked in as evidence. And that is all I have for now. Sorry about the neighbors fighting. They do that all the time. I hope that wasn't too distracting, especially with the important message that I had in the beginning. All right, everybody. I'm going to go for now, but I've got the next 5 days off. So I will be meditating, and I will be channeling, and I will be back with more information as things unfold. All right, everyone. I love you. Please love yourselves, love each other, and I will talk to you again later.